What you're seeing is advanced warfare.
And as a quick aside, I originally wrote this script after the Week 2 loss against the Colts, but luckily none of the outcomes this week really changed what I'm about to say. The only thing that matters in the NFL is winning. After that Week 2 loss, I was seeing people unironically hailing the Colts as a playoff to a potential Super Bowl contender. And yet, had they lost that game, that narrative, especially surrounding Daniel Jones, wouldn't be there.
Oh, for the love of...
I am the man with no name, Zap Brannigan, at your service.
And I think looking at this narrative, maybe it can help to ease our own minds about the ridiculousness of sports media headlines. Think about it like this. At one point, the Colts had lost the game. If it wasn't for the leverage call, they had lost the game. So much so to the point that the scoreboard literally was changed to Broncos 2-0, Colts 1-1 as they were setting up to re-kick it. If that original scorer had stayed, the Colts would be sitting at 500, Danny Dimes would still have his 300 pass yards and 1 touchdown, and everyone would be saying, he still looks way better than we expected. Good job, Indiana Jones. Y'all seem to have a solid team this year, and we'll keep an eye on you as we go into the future. Instead, they get that re-kick, make it, none of which had anything to do with the quarterback at this point, because keep in mind, he had actually failed to get his kicker into proper field goal range, right? So at this point, he's already sitting on the bench, and that's what led to the first miss in the first place. He has the same stats as he would have had they finished at 1-1, and now he and the Colts are being lumped in with the top Super Bowl candidates with that re-kick. And none of this really changes with their Week 3 win against the Titans because the Titans are still winless. And actually, isn't it a little interesting that if we combine the records of all the teams that the Colts have beaten so far, their total records come out to a combined 1 win and 8 losses? Does no one else remember the start of last season when the Saints scored like 91 points in their first 2 games? And everyone was claiming that the Saints were going to go to the Super Bowl? And then they had to be reminded that the 2 teams they beat were the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys, neither of whom ended up making the playoffs last season. And then in the next 16 weeks, the Saints proceeded to win like 3 more games. Wait a minute. What does the rest of the Colts 2025 season even look like? Okay, wait, yeah, never mind. Looking at the schedule, they definitely aren't pulling Saints this season. They honestly might have the easiest division just looking at it. Off the top of my head, teams that I can name who I think like most people would consider to be really good, like teams to probably make the playoffs and do well, I would say like the Bills. And let's see, they don't play the Bills this year. The Lions, they don't play the Lions. They don't play the Eagles. They don't play the Ravens. They don't play the Packers. They don't play the Bucks. They don't even play like solid teams, I'd say, like the Commanders. Or I know the Vikings might seem kind of iffy this year, but I think Kevin O'Connell is tied with Sean McVay for the most wins in a head coach's first 3 seasons. So it really doesn't seem like what quarterback he has. Like he finds ways to get wins. And yeah, they don't play them either. And they get to play the Texans, the Titans, and the Jaguars twice each. Okay, yeah, this is their division to lose, and I don't see that happening. Never mind, forget everything I said. The Colts are going to waltz into the playoffs. I guess their toughest opponent this year will be next week as they face the Rams. And after that, their toughest opponent will be like what? A Joey Bosa-less 49ers led by MacBook Jones? 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? Yeah, never mind. You know, it's uncertain whether I'll see the Broncos back in the playoffs this year, but the Colts, I can almost guarantee it. I guess unless something went horribly wrong. My prediction is that the Colts are going to be this year's Minnesota Vikings. Although the Vikings actually had a tough schedule last year, from what I remember. It doesn't seem like the Colts really have like a Detroit Lions in their division that's going to prevent them from getting that bye. I'm going to say that the Colts easily make their way to the playoffs while shattering every single Colts single-season record. They'll get a bye, win their first playoff game, then they're going to face a team like the Bills in the conference round and just get shellacked. Although, the Bills seem to lose in the playoffs every year no matter how good they look with Josh Allen prior. And honestly, they just seem cursed in the playoffs in general. So, I've changed my mind again. The Colts are going to go all the way to the Super Bowl this year on account of having the single luckiest schedule lineup in NFL history. Which is fitting considering the whole horseshoe emblem thing they've got going on.